Yo, yo, yo! My name is Chris Gongora, and with me as always is my trusty little pal, Jazz. So I love me some horror movies. If I was forced to pick one genre to watch for the rest of my life, it'd be horror. Freddy Krueger totally entered my nightmares as a kid. The visuals in The Exorcist are still disturbing. The ending of Sinister weighed on my brain days after the credits rolled. Yet, out of all those horror movies I've watched, and I've watched a lot, and I've watched a lot, not one of them compares to the nightmare-inducing, very special episode of Growing Pains. For those who don't know, Growing Pains was a TV sitcom in the 80s, chronicling the life of the Seaver family and all the hilarious hijinks that occur when two parents raise their 3 kids. The series is very 80s, and it wears that decade on its sleeve. It also has one of the best theme songs ever written for a television series. It's well known for a couple of reasons. One, the breakout star was Kirk Cameron, who played the older son, Mike. I really hate to admit it now, but I was a huge fan of Kirk Cameron. Am I still a fan? No. But little 80s Chris totally wished that dude was his best friend. I wasn't alone though. The guy was a teen phenom. 2, it's also the TV home where future Oscar winner and maybe the only man who can order the actual models from a Victoria's Secrets catalog. Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio played a homeless teenager, Luke Bauer, on the last season of the show. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the hell that is, thank God it's Friday. Yeah, thank God for nothing. Thank God for scarring me for life. Thank God It's Friday is the name of the Growing Pains episode in question. The plot of the episode sees Mike and his 2 buddies, Eddie and Boner, get invited to a party where the girls look like a young Christy Swanson, and everybody goes to the bathroom in groups. Not to have some sort of, what I can only guess is a shit viewing party of some sort, but to sniff rails of coke. And then maybe a shit viewing party of some sort. Who knows, it was the 80s after all. After some hemming and hawing about what to do, Mike decides to leave the party sans the coke, while Eddie and Boner stay behind, really torn about going into that awesome bathroom. Mike goes home, tells his dad what happens. His dad gives him some life lesson about making your own choices and not worrying about pleasing everybody else, and blah blah blah. Then, as Mike heads to bed, his dad tells him that his 2 buddies called to tell him that they decided not to go into the bathroom. I'm assuming they're still partying with all those 80s babes though, because they didn't say anything about leaving the party. They just said they weren't going to go to the bathroom. The episode ends with Mike heading off upstairs to his room, and his dad locking the chain on the front door as he mutters to himself, "What a world." And you know what? If it would have ended there, I probably never would have been inspired to make this video. Because really, I don't give 2 shits if Mike and his boys did blow in the bathroom or not. But it did not end there. When we come back from the commercial break, we're right back at that party. It's mid-party too. Everyone's having a great time, mingling, a little piano is playing in the background to get everybody in the party mood. But then 3 seconds into that scene, the music abruptly stops. And everybody at the party stops talking and mingling and turn right at the camera and break that 4th wall. Just staring straight ahead. No movements, just standing still, like little mannequins, staring at you, directly into your soul. Mike walks into camera and sits at the end of the table where the food and drinks are. He's no longer Mike though. He's now Kirk Cameron, the actor. He then goes into a minute speech, somber as can be, about how drugs aren't cool, and anybody that forces you into doing something that you don't want to do aren't really your friends. The whole time, the camera is ever so slowly panning to a close-up of his face. Everyone else is still just staring at you. The camera is finally at a full close-up of his face when he delivers his last line, and then there's a slow fade out to black. I know some of you, if not most of you, are out there thinking, what is this guy and his cute little dog talking about? A PSA from the 80s gave you nightmares? Yes. And to tell you the truth, I don't know why. Those little moments after shows when the cast sheds their characters and tells you something serious as the actual people. Well, right after a show that was just about some really serious issues ends and a voiceover comes on to tell you, if you or someone you know is experiencing whatever serious issue you just saw, call this number. Always makes the hair on my back stand way up. Now, a lot of sitcoms would do these very special episodes where they would try to give little life lessons to the people watching. Different Strokes and The Bicycle Man, who was a child molester. Family Ties and The Crazy Uncle played by Tom Hanks, who was an alcoholic. The episode where Punky Brewster's friend gets trapped in a refrigerator. I guess there was a lot of kids getting trapped in fridges in the 80s, and it needed to be brought to the attention of a primetime viewing audience. Maybe it was how fast those fun little shows could turn super dark on a dime. Maybe it was the breaking of the 4th wall, where the fantasy of the world you were watching is jarringly broken, or a sense of your privacy is cracked because you're being directly lectured to in the comfort of your home. Maybe it's the silence that accompanies these little moral pitches. You ever notice that there's no music, just joyless actors and gloomy voices? Maybe it's all the above. Does anybody else experience this? Or is it just a very strange little quirk of mine? So if you or someone you know shares this experience, leave me a comment and let me know. I can't be the only one. Alright, Jazzy and I will be back next week with some more bullshit to talk about. Isn't that right, Jesse? Yes.